just added stuff to the agenda as well.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. That makes a lot of sense still.
Crawford. Oh yeah. BJS. I forgot about that. You know, he's saying he's only gonna fight again if he fights Eubank, innit?
Yeah.
That guy is a professional capper.
Weirdo.
Let me copy that link.
What's this Anthony Joshua March Saudi?
That's Fury saying that he wants to fight in Saudi.
His list thing, innit?
Yeah. Listing, yeah.
That guy, I can't even lie to you.
Say that again, did it?
I hate Fury, like,
bro. I hate him, bro.
One guy I can never ever take serious.
I hate him. I don't like to hate fighters as well. I like to stay, you know. In, like,
I swear, like,
he's so jarring.
Jokes aside, if Wilder was 5% less annoying, I would root for him.
No,
man says doing tossing up the more evil.
Just 5% less annoying because Fury is the most jarring guy. Like, he goes back and forth with what he said.
Bro, we'll get into it when we talk, when we get into the pod, because I've got quite a bit to say about that as well. But I'm gonna start now. We're live already, so I'm gonna start. Pod now. But anyways, welcome everybody to another episode of Ringside Fracas. I'm joined by the team. We have Naeem, Samt, and Jide. Boys, how you doing?
All good.
Great.
Self.
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. Just here working hard. You know how we do.
Weekend.
Yeah, it was a decent weekend, man. My friend's birthday this weekend, so it's a bit of celebrating that. But yeah, it's a chilled one this weekend, man.
Sweet.
But, yeah, everyone looks well. I can't see Jide's face though, so I don't know what's going on there. It's unusual, but I see his lovely face today.
I've been out every weekend for like 100 weeks. I am completely mashed up right now. So next week I'll be back on properly. Listen, I just woke up from a nap, so if I go on live, I'll just have bloodshot eyes.
Yeah,
eyes long, man. So
yeah, we don't want your babes to see all of that, man.
You see it. My baby's watching right now. You know what I mean?
You're pushing through the grind, yeah. You're pushing.
Dedication. I rate it. I do rate it. But yeah, we've got an interesting week of boxing to get through. Nothing major has happened. Still a bit of a quiet week, but there's still things to talk about. You know, we had the Valdez fight. We had the Holyfield card as well, and just a few comments here and there from, you know, Tyson Fury and the heavyweight division. So yeah, quite a bit to go through. But yeah, let's start off with the Oscar Valdez versus Robertson. Is it Conseco? Is that his name? Conseco? I don't know how to say that name, but
that's his
first name, bro. Robson.
Yeah, let me just say that. Did you guys look at the fight?
Yeah, I watched the fight.
Yeah, I think it's on YouTube now, right? The full thing.
Yeah.
Is that because it's the whole Top Rank Sky Sports thing, right? I love it. But yeah, so everyone caught the fight. Let me start with you, Naeem. What was your overall impressions of the fight, and what your comments and opinion?
I mean, obviously, from like going into it, especially we talked about it last week, because the whole PED controversy wasn't good. So, you know, for Robson, I think Robson had a lot of fans in this fight. You know, boxing purists wanted him to win because you don't want to cheat him. But it was a good fight to watch. At the start, Robson was doing well. He was boxing well, but as the fight carried on, around like 5 or 6 rounds later, he won. I think I would give him the first like 5 rounds. He did well. Like, he was boxing Oscar Valdez, and this wasn't the guy that looked like the guy who smoked Berchelt for 10 rounds and then put him on the floor. This was like this looks completely different. But then after the first 5 rounds, then Oscar started putting that championship work in, or as I like to say, the PED work in, and then he started to come back in, and he started to take the rounds back. I had it. I thought it was close, but I had it 114, 113 to Robson. I see why people give to Valdez. I just had it for Robson. I thought he controlled most of the first early rounds, and then some rounds in between he took. He was boxing on. You know, this is a guy who, with Valdez, even though I don't care, they're going to give him in my opinion, I thought they gave him the win. They gave him the PEDs. They gave him the win. They're going to give him everything. So hopefully when he fights another champion, whether it's I either Herring or Stevenson, obviously with that big fight coming up, or whoever it is in that division. Hope they knock him out, because I used to be his fan. Like, he's a fun guy to watch. He's like a little Canelo. Like, he'll come at you with hooks. You know, his pressure comes forward, wants to just, you know, take you out. But after this whole situation and everything, it's hard to be his fan. And it's hard to get behind that camp as well. So yeah, that's my thoughts on everything.
Yeah, I have a question about that camp. I'm going to save it until we all finish talking about what we thought about the fight. But I'll please, if I forget, remind me if you can. I have a question about that camp. Jide, let me go to you. You said you watched the full fight. You said that you didn't think it was a robbery per se, but did you think?
No,
Valdez won?
Yeah, I got Valdez winning. No chance of that robbery. I'm the opposite of Naeem. I agree that Robson basically controlled most of the first round. So, for example, I gave the third round to Valdez. It was a very close round. Very, like, it could go either way, but I gave it to Valdez. So that's one of the earlier close rounds. And Robson slowed down significantly after the sixth. Like, you could just see he just wasn't as effective. His jab wasn't as good. And if you're trying to beat the champion, like, most of your damage was done in the first half of the fight. You're just not going to win it with a patty jab, and like, it just wasn't doing as much damage in the later half of the fight. So it was a close fight, but I scored it for Valdez. Basically the opposite of what Naeem had. So when people say it was a robbery, what I think happened personally for me is people expected Valdez to just destroy Robson. And when you are watching a fight with that sort of mentality, whenever our rounds are close, or if the challenger is doing way better than you expect, you're going to be more harsh in terms of the scoring. And I think that's what might have happened. But that's me personally. I think it was a close fight, could have gone either way, but I scored it for Valdez.
Okay, fair enough. Sams, you watched the fight as well, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I caught that. So
what are your opinions on the result?
So I'm actually siding on both of you. I'm literally drawing on the line because you're both making points, which I echo too. I did think that there was probably a lot more emotion from the fans' perspective in terms of why they were saying it was a robbery, if you get what I'm saying, because of the fact that they were rooting essentially against Valdez, and due to obviously the drug scandal and so forth. But I did have it quite close. He, in my opinion, lost the first half of the fight, but he did come back and get into the fight quite well, and partially because he started stepping up, as Naeem alluded to, his the PED gear jumped in, and the booster pack took and kicked in. But as well, what's his first name again? I can't remember. Robson, yeah. So he slowed down dramatically, like he just gassed out, and it was weird. He started showboating as well during the middle. It was like, said, she tweeted something like, "Well, if you've got energy to showboat, why don't you punch?"
That was so weird. I feel like he was trying to get points off the judges, but that's not how it works.
Yeah,
you have to say that if you're going to showboat as well.
Yeah, sorry. But in saying that, he did do very well, and I do think again, like, people were definitely going off the historical situation from just banging out his last opponent and so forth, and expecting someone who really truly should have actually been having a title shot, a voluntary title shot, just come in and he's a nobody, no one really knows him, expects him to get, essentially he's there to get beaten up and look good so he can push on and push Valdez's name on. However, he's gone in there and been quite outboxed and looked quite he didn't look quite with it, probably due to what's been going on outside, and his whole mindset's been elsewhere. But it wasn't quite annoying listening to judge the commentary with Chris Ajuri and I don't know the woman's name was, but they were chatting shit, man. There was quite Valdez pro, and it sounds like they've kind of, I don't know if Top Rank have said you have to credit this guy as much as possible or something, but the whole thing just stinks because 117, 110 they didn't exist. So we big crooks have basically come and said, this is our champion, whether we made in Captain America or whatever, and juiced him up. We've decided we want to elevate him, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, I think boxing is in a very, very crazy place right now. I can't believe he was allowed to fight first and foremost. But I do think some of us went into the fight without conscious/unconscious bias because of how a lot of us felt with him being allowed to fight and failing the drugs test. I actually thought I agree with everyone. I don't think Robson did enough for it to be called a robbery, but I also don't think Valdez won. If that makes sense. I would have given it if it was like a fair scoring thing. I would have given it to Robson, but I could see why he lost. Like you're fighting the champion. Like you need like a knockdown in there or something. Just like or like a masterclass boxing lesson. Or like if he won like a few more rounds maybe. But because of how much he faded towards the second half, I understand why he won in the fight. I wasn't upset or anything, but I think a lot of people were more upset because of where Valdez was coming from with his current situation. But spinning back to what I want to ask, this Reynoso camp, before a lot of these fights had happened, there was a lot of buzz through the boxing community how the camp is looking crazy, so much talent, etc., etc. Is this camp, this Reynoso camp, are they meeting expectations? Because for me, I only feel like it's Canelo that's really the guy in that camp. I don't know if the rest of the guys are matching up to the hype around them. What do you guys think?
Go on.
Liam, you can go first. Yeah.
If Sam wants to go first, come.
You know what? Yeah, the same thing I want to touch on. Yeah, because off the back of that question, I was pissed off when also got that the whole train of the year. I thought that was one of the deepest robberies, quite like clear robberies where Derek James should have got that. And I feel like the whole status thing where we're giving so much credit to him, but Derek James has got 2 unified champions, and had done that in that period. You got Oscar Valdez coming through and banging the guy out and whatever. And Canelo's being Canelo, okay, but you haven't really okay, Canelo, you've pulled through, but you're talking about people. He still failed the drugs test and so forth, and so has Valdez previous at that point anyway. Then you've got Derek James, who literally has gone in and done these things, which just went under the radar, and I think that's quite sickening. So if you're asking me that question, automatically I'm going to say no, because Andrew Ruiz.
So you never really actually bought into that hype in the first place.
Yeah, this is it. Andrew Ruiz was never the guy that I thought he just got elevated because of the win of AJ, and that was it. Then it was like, okay, we've now seen apparently he's working Canelo, but we never actually saw what
he looked shocking against
and when he did fight, he was shit.
Got dropped twice. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like the whole thing is just a great marketing job, and we've just boosted it up type scenario.
But yeah, Neem, what do you think? Met our expectations, or
the fighters that I give him credit for, like Canelo, obviously, Oscar Valdez, and also Julio Cesar Martinez in the flyweight division. He's a little killer there. He just dominates people and knocks them out. He looks proper and stuff like that. But,
he might be that T.
Yeah, they all might be on it. That's what I don't like is especially this week, Eddie Reynoso answered no questions about the PEDs, and it's like, as boxing journalists should do, they should get onto him and be like, okay, why have you had in the past 3 years 3 different separate drugs tests fails and everything, and what is going on in your camp? He answered nothing again, because he's they're protecting him and they're protecting that whole camp because of the amount of money that these lot can bring in. So and when it comes to stuff like train of the year, I don't never tend to look at those type of awards, because at the end of the day, the trainer knows who's good and who's not because of your fighter. So what's his name, Rob McCracken, he knows he's good because of his fighters. And, Derek James, he knows he's good because of his fighters. So you don't need an award to tell you that you're a good trainer. Your own fighters will tell you that and show you that on the in the ring. So
let's be honest, it's nothing but favoritism, and it's just politics. I remember when Freddie Roach was winning it year in year out, and Roger never won nothing.
Yeah,
craziness. Exactly. How does that work? How does that work? How does that possibly make any sense?
When it comes to sporting awards, it's always like any type of awards in any entertainment industry or anything. It's always favoritism. It's not who was actually the best. I mean, how many other Grammys and Ballon d'Ors and whatever, there's always controversy. Oh, he should have won. He should. So it's the same thing with boxing.
Politics.
It's always politics and whatnot. So
and whatever makes the most sense.
The Reynoso camp is good, but the whole drugs situation is
stinking it up.
Big issue. It's a big issue in that camp, and no one's going to call it out because they're happy with the fighters. So no one's really going to call it out. And none of these like so-called journalists and media, they're never going to call it out because they know they won't be invited back for like the open workouts or the fights or anything. So it's just one of those things where it's just going to get swept under the rug and they're just going to keep doing it. So you just have to go. There's nothing else you can do, really.
So, Gina, let me come to you last. Reynoso camp, meeting our expectations or falling flat?
Like I said before, I'll say it again. These men are living off the Canelo gravy train. Listen, Oscar Valdez, when he joined Reynoso and he won that fight, everyone was gassing up. That was a great win because no one's expecting him to fight the way he fight and win the fight the way he did. I give him his props, but he was not what people were trying to make him out to be. People think guys go to Reynoso and become these changed, different fighters. No, they start doing drugs. That's it. Listen, Canelo's my guy. Big facts. It's big fact. Canelo's my guy, but he's a doper. Fucking Ruiz, I'm sure he's gonna jump in the juice now after what happened. The depression merchant, guys, you gotta delete that. But you gotta beat that. But my guy, he's also a juice head. They're all juice heads. And for me, it's just I wish I was on last week because I wanted to rant about this drug stuff. Yeah, boxing stinks.
Bro, go for it now, man. On topic, man. As well.
Sport I have ever. I don't know why I like this sport. It pisses me off. Like I have a constant battle with this sport. You cannot say, okay, we are using VADA rules. So this is the problem about having multiple so-called sanctioning bodies with multiple rules and multiple drug bodies as well, doing different, like saying what's allowed and what's not allowed. It allows rubbish like this to happen. WBC said we are doing VADA, and VADA, USADA, and all these RASADA, all these guys, they take the banned substances from WADA, but VADA said we know this drug is a performance enhancer. WADA say not really, but it don't matter. You've chosen VADA, so you follow what VADA say. VADA have come out and said this drug was found in his system and it's clearly used to make it improve his stamina and do these other things, which clearly in a boxing ring you're going to want to use. He knew that was going in the system. He used that on purpose. Ban him. But no, the WBC can't because number one, the WBC is Mexican. This is where politics and ethnicity and all that stuff comes into it. The WBC is a Mexican body, so they're protecting one of their fighters. They're protecting their star camp. This is why they never want to fuck with Canelo. Canelo can call them out as much as they want. He represents Mexico. He represents the whole people. That camp represents the entire. It's such a massive part of the WBC's pockets and their prestige and how they look. They didn't even want to dare. They were looking for any way to absolve this guy. But when it was Dillian White, they banned him with the swiftness.
Rightly so.
And the thing with the Dillian part is, it wasn't even VADA that banned Dillian. It was UCAD. So this is where this is mad. VADA said Dillian, there's nothing wrong with the Dillian situation. It was a mistake on our part at the end of it. You could easily come out and say VADA was Eddie Hearn paid them, whatever. This is not the point I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to say that the body that you said are supposed to do this testing and you're supposed to follow their rules came out and said your fighter or this fighter popped for something, but you chose not to ban them. Wow. When they did the same with Dillian White and found him clear, they're both A and B samples, you followed the rules of UCAD, someone that wasn't even looking at the fights. They weren't even the one that was, they weren't the ones that was doing the testing for your sanctioning body for your belt for that fight. It's absolutely crazy to me. It stinks. Boxing stinks so bad. But yo, let me stop my rant. Let me go back to the Reynoso camp. Reynoso is overrated. He's a great trainer. Don't get me wrong. He's a very good trainer. But I do think he's overrated. I think these guys are just on the juice. They're on a Canelo gravy train. Canelo Alvarez is their camp. And as long as he keeps doing well, everyone will think this camp is fantastic and is great. And I feel like as the more that they keep developing bad will, it's going to hurt Canelo. And you're going to get to a point where he's not going to be able to just win a fight and get favorable judging. everyone's going to keep looking at these situations, and you're just going to get that one freak fight where the judges are just against him, and he might be doing fantastic, but they're not going to be giving him the close rounds, and it's going to hurt him. But that's me.
Can I ask a quick question? Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
You might not think Valdez won the fight because of the direct.
Yeah,
like the direct helped him. You know,
it definitely did.
The fight. Yeah.
It definitely did. Of course it did. That's why he had it in the system, and it came out with some bullshit excuse. Oh, I did not know it's him. Yes, you did, bro. Everyone knows what's in their system. You made sure it was in your system.
I was going to say, like, how did boxers come out and say, I didn't know? Like, what would you have taken to put that in your system?
You know what pisses me off here? The ignorance angle is so jarring. It's like, oh yeah,
I hate it.
I didn't know that I was doing something. But no, bear in mind, yeah, at first they said it was herbal tea. Very quickly, they went back on that and said they didn't know how it got into the system because they realized that it was quite. Victor Conte came out and said it's impossible. Like, you don't get them kind of levels. You would have to drink a completely unattainable amount of like this herbal tea to get down to those levels in your system. So it can't be that. Then they turned around and said, we don't know how it's coming to my system. I don't do my nutrition. But surely, if I am a high performance athlete who knows the stakes and so forth,
you're a champion.
I need to know exactly what enters my system. I am ultimately liable for what goes into my system. There's absolutely no way I'm going to give the chance of someone just putting stuff in my system and say, oh yeah, just eating nitty-gritty. I'm going to like, most people are inquisitive about anything they don't know. Naturally. How do you just follow blindly anything? That's craziness.
Yeah, man. The ignorance angle is very frustrating. I've never understood it, and people that fall for it, I don't know why it's so effective in the boxing community. But for me, I do think that Reynoso camp has been very underwhelming, and that's because of how the community has responded to that them getting together. I feel like no one's taken to the fact that there's so much space for them to improve. They're not the finished article at all. I think they've only got one or maybe two fighters that are operating at a very, very high level, and that's Canelo and the boxer you mentioned, Liam. But like Ryan Garcia, even the Cuban heavyweight, he hasn't fought anyone of note yet to be given those props. He's supposed to fight F.A. Jagbar, I believe, on the Tyson Fury card, which we'll get onto soon. But no one apart from Canelo has shown me why this camp gets so much props. Andy Ruiz's last fight was very, very ugly. It was very, very shocking in my opinion. Who else is there? Ryan Garcia, Valdez as well. He's just had a fight where people think he may have lost. So I do think people need to realize that this camp have a lot of room to improve and stop giving them props like they're the finished article. They're not. They don't have multiple champions and they don't have multiple, unified champions. So I don't know why they're getting treated that they have this, these kind of fights. But moving on from that, I guess we can move on to the other card that happened this weekend, which is the Holyfield versus Belfort card. So let's start off with the David Haye fight. Did any of you catch the David Haye fight?
No, I didn't. I made sure I didn't.
I had zero interest in that bullshit.
I don't know why he was fighting. Why did you start to fight?
I heard what happened.
He won on points.
Yeah, he just outboxed him. Like, he wasn't bothered to like go in and knock it. He could have, but he just wasn't bothered to.
Yeah, he won on points.
That right there, yeah. No, I call it a legalized robbery. These men got their ski masks on and robbed the bank.
They faked.
I hope they did, because I haven't seen a single soul, and I actually checked here on Twitter, and I went onto like the search function, just typed in like Triller card. Yeah, I didn't see one person say I have bought the card looking forward to the fight. So who the hell paid for pay-per-view? Because
Neem, haven't you commented saying that this Triller thing, this fiasco is going to go down the toilet?
I'm going to go into it more because, especially because after the Belfort fight, they made a statement. So I'm going to go into more about Triller and the business later on. So
all right, no worries.
I remember I saw on Holyfield's Instagram, he said it was sold out. So like the whole stadium was sold out. So
what was the stadium? Someone's back garden?
I don't know. I think it was in Florida.
Yeah,
Florida. Yeah. So Jimmy, you didn't catch the fight, did you?
Nah, I didn't. Why am I gonna watch that rubbish?
It was
Bro, it was basically his billionaire friend said, "Yo, David, hey, you're short on money right now." David is like, "Yeah, bro. All right, cool. Let's get together. I'll get my sponsors and get my guys to put some money up. Let's holler at Triller. They're a bit mad right now. All right, cool. Whatever platform they used, and they had the fight. That was it. David Hay has some sense.
This guy that he fought, is he an active fighter?
No.
The last time he fought like 4 years ago. So he's a billionaire. Yeah, he's a billionaire cosplaying as a fighter. You know, when you have crazy money, you can just do what you want.
So doing random shit. Like when kids are trying to make music. Yeah,
I was about to say, let me get that kind of dough and see if I don't bring a mixtape out in 2 weeks' time.
Man wants to live his dream. So basically, my man gets a bunch of like third world cab drivers. Like most of his fights, or most of his guys that he's beat are like from Dominican Republic and shit like that. So imagine you're a billionaire, you're telling the guy from DR, yo, bro, take a dive, 20 bags. You take it. I'll take it, bro. Knock me out. I'll sleep. So
yeah, fucked. He will get fucked over because I'll do that. I'd sign up to it, and then halfway through my ego kicking on, spark him.
But you see, you do that now. He's a billionaire, man. Your family gonna go missing. But yeah, man, like David Hay has some debts that he had to pay off. Probably his child support or spouse support was looking crazy. So my man helped him out, man. But yeah, I didn't watch that fight. I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
I'm not
okay, I don't think we're really interested in the fight. So let's move it on to his you guys will hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Let's just move it on to his comments after the fight then, because I don't think we're really interested in the fight itself. So he said that he wants to fight Tyson Fury and he's being very, very serious. He keeps saying that he's serious, that he wants to fight him. I don't know what to believe. I just think that's absolutely ridiculous statement to make. Is it clout? Like, what's his agenda with this whole Tyson Fury stuff? Let me go to you first, Sams.
He's just chatting shit. I'm sorry, man. Yeah. He's just chatting shit. I think he just opened his mouth and speaking because he's just a loser. At this point, like, mate, you robbed the bank. Well done. You're not going to start trying to hype up a potential fight of Fury, which the sickening bit is, I feel like that fight could actually go. Like, it could actually be done. Like,
Fury would rather fight him than all the actual heavyweights.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, like, I feel like he actually did. And it's just jarring if that even takes place for any reason. Yeah, honestly, I feel like that might be where I'm getting to a breaking point of boxing. Like, that's bullshit, man. Absolute bullshit. I do not need to see that fight for any reason. That whole card stunk. Everything about that card stunk. Like, we don't need to see any kind of stupid, like, at this point, what is it? Celebrity deathmatch, like, or whatever. You're bringing on old people.
I can't lie.
You're bringing on men that literally couldn't get a license 20 years ago. Holyfield tried to get a license, they wouldn't give it to him 20 years ago. Yeah, from the commission. You're allowing him to fight now. He's getting sparked out in like 80 seconds or whatever it is. Like, the guy's reaction time was so slow on the pads here. You literally could have gone on the road, done your food shopping for the week, and got back in before he hit the pads. What was the point of that? What was the point? Like, he was like, jab, you got internet AOL dial-up connection speed of Holyfield throwing a punch. It was stupid. Like, the whole thing stinks. I hope the model dies. So I need Triller to just go down and just die quickly.
It is. Don't worry. We're getting into it. I'm loving it. It's bad, dude.
Oh, like, I was so jarred by the whole thing that I made sure that even the highlights, I was like, you're not doing it. You're not even going to put it on. Then I just saw, obviously, I saw the thing. I caught the Holyfield KO on Twitter, and I was like, shit, man, this is sad. Like, this is a black man who probably just needs dough, and this is what he's trying to do to keep his, like, basically what we're doing is watching, you know, on YouTube when you were younger and you watched, what was it, crack fights, crackhead fights. Basically, you give him $50 and say, yeah, you man, scrap out. It's sad. Like, it stinks, man, honestly.
Nah, it's genuinely awful. Like, literally, it's so bad. Yeah, I don't even know what Hayes' agenda was in regards to calling Tyson Fury out or any of that stuff. But
it's another quick payday, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess. But Fury just knock him out. But anyways, yeah.
He called out Fury just to keep his name out there. He knows people will talk about it. We're talking about it right now.
Yeah.
Like, he's just trying to gain a bit of momentum. He's not going to fight Fury next. He's going to probably try to fight another cab driver and Rob Triller. But by mentioning Fury and saying, yo, we should have fought in 2014 or whenever they were meant to fight.
2013.
2014.
And he pulled out.
He pulled out, yeah. So him saying that I'll knock you out with overhand right, which he never threw once in this fight. Him talking about his speed. Like, bro, come on, man. Saying, you docked AJ, which I agree with, but that is not the point here. He's just mentioning Fury so that we can talk about him and he can use that to go into his next fight. He is basically playing the game, but I don't think it's going to work here because no one wants to see him, man.
No,
if I'm Fury, I'll just make a bet. If you can like do a proper training camp and make it to the fight without getting injuries, I'll give you the win. I don't think you can make it through a training camp, like a proper one.
He's got no ankles.
Guy's body just gives up after like a few
yeah,
rounds.
his body, she's shot to pieces, man.
He's got no ankles. He's got no ankles. Both your Achilles are done. You know how fucked that is.
He's gonna fight Tully Belly. Fight him.
Yeah.
I run that.
You lost the guy who just wants to go into his wife and kids twice.
Yeah, I run that back.
Hey. Belly was fighting again.
Twice. You lost him twice. So
which is shocking because at the time, in fact, let me even lie to you. I was a massive David Hayes fan back in the day. Like I proper rated the guy. Like both the Belly fights, I had Hay winning. Shockingly, because I was like, oh yeah, if Hay turns up, then yeah, it's a long night. I mean, and it's just
I thought Hay was gonna beat him as well.
So now I've seen what's going on here. Now I've seen you put you've got your ski mask out. You're not gonna do that again, mate. You've done it. You've had your 2 goes. Like fuck off now. Like stop spending so much money, so you need to keep going back.
What happens to his promotions? Didn't he have like Haymaker promotions or something? What
Yeah, he lost Joyce, isn't it? That was it. Done.
Oh, bloody hell.
I've not realized it. Basically, when he had Joyce, that was his pound note. Yeah. He had the coin there and he had the bag. He lost that and thought, fuck it, unless not the gloves then. Like he's probably in his head said, yeah, Joyce is gonna get me to it's gonna keep me going for the next couple payments I need to make on my situation and whatever. Joyce is going to say, oh shit, fuck it, get back in the ring then. Hey mate, help me out. Put on some gloves. And told him that yeah, we're friends, but you said you're gonna beat me up, and I told you absolutely no chance. Like he has no ambition there. Do you know what I mean? He even said he'd done no sparring prior to the fight.
That's insane.
Yeah, but you're claiming you want to fight Tyson Fury. Get out of it. Get out of it.
Who do you guys think would have won that fight if they would have fought on time in 2013?
Hey, see, this is a sad bit. I'm not saying David Hay.
I think Fury. I can't lie to you. I think Fury beats him. David Hay is like Fury. They're both very calculated, and I feel like at the time, because Fury was just coming up, David Hay couldn't afford losing to up and comer like Fury. I genuinely believe Fury had his number. Like, I feel like it would have been an embarrassing fight. And David Hayes saw the writing on the wall. So he pulled out.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially at that time, because you had the Cunningham fight around that time as well.
Yeah.
Like Fury was like very exposed at that time. Like he wasn't like still solid. He was very exposed.
Yeah.
And Hayes proper quick at heavyweight because I don't think he gained that much weight. So like he could land that overhand right. If he did, I think he probably would have stopped Fury because he's not like Cunningham. Like he would finish him. So if he landed on him, he'd have finished him. But it would have been a fun fight to watch. But obviously we didn't get it. So that's boxing for you, isn't it?
I know for free. If you asked me at that period in time, I 100% would have said, "Oh, Hayes gonna get him out of there." Do you know what I mean? And I'm gonna say it again. If Hay turns up, and has no issues, he's stopping him. But that's what I would be at the time, especially with the Fury that wasn't quite polished at the time as well. Do you know what I mean? So
I'm the opposite. I feel like Fury destroys him, man. Because Hay is a pretender, bro. I can't believe this guy no more. Like
I'm saying if you asked me at the time.
No. If you asked me at the time, I would have said Hay. But looking in hindsight, I know for Fury beats him. I feel like he knew that as well. He knew that because the guy Fury's one of those fighters. Yeah, if he's obsessed with you, he's going to prepare for you meticulously.
Yeah.
And he wanted Hay. He's been chasing him for time. That was his scout. That was the guy he wanted to take him to the next level. And Hay knew that, man. Hay didn't want this young buck beating him. He would rather lose to a Vlad or Vitali or them, man. Wasn't trying to lose to no Fury at that time.
At the same time, do you reckon maybe we're potentially kind of being a bit disrespectful to him, because we have to remember at the same time he still was the cruiserweight. Was it unified? He was unified, didn't it?
It was unified, yeah. It was no one disputed.
And so forth, like, and he had done so. Then he went to heavyweight and so forth. He was at the time smoking hot. Like, look at how he went about his business. Icing Chisora. I remember that fight. I went to that fight. That was sick. And that was iced him.
Definitely. But that Chisora fight, although he iced him, was competitive till he iced him. Look at the way Fury handled Chisora in the second fight.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but then again, it's the styles in it. It's like,
Yeah,
you just never know, because if Hey launches that overhand right, it's just it can catch Fury.
100%. And we've seen Fury get caught with the overhand, definitely. But remember, Hey doesn't set up his shots. We always seem to forget that he tries to walk around the outside and explode on you. Fury will see that, man. Like, I just don't see that working on him.
It's one of those fights we wish it would happen.
I wish
it happened, man. There's a lot of Fury fights I wish would have happened, but we didn't get. But it is what it is.
Hey taught Fury how to get out of fights. After that, that's why Fury loves it. He's like, you know what, fuck it. I can get out of fights and not get in trouble for it, so might as well.
Yeah, facts. But yeah, I guess we've already basically touched on the Holyfield mess. Is there anything else you guys want to comment on that?
I'll say Triller is going to, like, the boxing model is dying, because like a novelty acts can only last for so long. The quality isn't there. People are not going to pay for something that doesn't have quality. Holyfield is a 60-year-old man fighting Vitor Belfort, who's 44. Are you trying to tell me this is meant to be entertaining? What happened? Like, I saw the highlights, man. It was basically a man a grown-ass man beating up an old man. Like, who wants to watch that? Like, that was, I don't see how that was interesting. Or that they're not making money. I know for a fact they didn't make money. They didn't make money off that. And if you see the problems Triller having with actual fighters and actual fights, like, I can put money on it if Crawford and Porter went on a bidding war. They wouldn't put money. They've lost so much money. I don't feel like they'll put money to make that fight, because they're not making money. No one wants to pay $60-$70 for bullshit. Who wants to pay that?
$50 it was for that shit.
Yeah.
You could have gone on YouTube and watched crackheads, like I said. Bang out.
Fam, that was like that.
Jeff running straight from Stratford, Westfield to Tottenham.
when Kimbo Slice was out here beating guys up off the street.
That's what I'm saying. You could have just watched that.
Yeah.
There's more value in that.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. Naomi, you said you wanted to touch on the model as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a bit long, so strap in, guys. So basically, Triller started the whole boxing, like getting involved in the boxing thing, because they had a deal with Mike Tyson and Jake Paul at the start. You know, the whole Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr. thing. Obviously, that was successful because a lot of people watched it. I think it got like 1.2 or 6 million pay-per-view buys, and that's a lot, especially in today's age. But as it went on, Mike Tyson's, and they thought with Mike Tyson, we're going to get like a legends-only league, because Mike Tyson was like proper intent on making this like league of legends where all these legends fight each other. After that fight, Mike Tyson and Roy Jones said, I don't want nothing to do with Triller. We didn't get our money, the way it was set up and everything. Like, they said they had problems with Triller. They don't want to work with them anymore. So they lost Mike Tyson. Then they set up their new initiative, which was the Triller Fight Club. You know, they had all these like adverts and everything, because they just signed Teofimo Lopez versus George Kambosos as well, because they won it in the bidding war. And they had Jake Paul. So when they had the Jake Paul fight, everything happened. He won. Jake Paul then pissed off over to Showtime. He left them.
Yeah.
He's not coming back because he's on Showtime. So now you got this Teofimo Lopez fight, which they paid a lot for. Like, no one was bidding that. I think like the highest amount before them was 2 million, and they paid like 4 or 6 million.
They paid bare money for that. They're gonna regret that.
Oh.
And now the fight's on a Monday. You think Teofimo Lopez is coming back if the fight's on a Monday?
It's been moved again, by the way, isn't it? I think it's been moved. I saw that it's been moved. I literally found out
So it was on a Tuesday. They moved it to a Monday.
Yeah. This is mad.
So do you think he's coming back? No, he's gonna stay with Top Rank, and George Kambosos is gonna. I don't know who he's part of, but he's gonna go with whoever. So they're not gonna get that back, and they've already messed up their money on that, because if it's on a Monday, I'm telling you, not many people can stay up and watch that.
It's done.
Especially on a Monday, so they're not getting that money. And then this whole Holyfield Belfort, after when Belfort won, Belfort said, "I'll come, Jake Paul, and I'll fight you." Yeah? And then the CEO of Triller said, yeah, we'll put up 30 million as like who to winner takes all. That shows you their desperations. They've lost all their stars, they've lost everything, and they're gonna inject all this money to try get Jake Paul back, so then they can get this big pay-per-view thing. They're losing it within the next 1 or 2 years. They'll be done. They're losing money. They're hemorrhaging money like that. Their app is shit. I mean, TikTok is much better, even though I don't use it. But they're on their way out of boxing. And at the start, you could tell because they came in with the wrong ideas. They didn't sign anyone good. If you can start, especially nowadays in today's age, you can start a new promotion. It'll be difficult, but you can start one. But have the right ideas. They just didn't. They just wanted whatever sold, and they started doing YouTube shit, and it didn't work. So it's just going long for them, and especially now, I think with Holyfield and Belfort, they kind of wanted probably Holyfield to win, and when Holyfield got messed up, they're like, oh, let's go with Belfort, but no one likes Belfort. Not even MMA guys like him like that. So
you see that Holyfield situation, yeah. He didn't give any single indication that he can still fight.
Yeah.
No.
Why was that allowed?
You know how bad it was, yeah? People thought that he was pretending on the pads. People thought that he was acting.
Bro.
Impossible. That's scary. People thought that, oh yeah, he's pretending he can't box.
Also, he can get in the ring and then move fast than that.
My man was really showing us that he's an old man. He's a pensioner. Like he needs to go and chill and play cards, dominoes, and that.
You see, before Mike Tyson fought, yeah, that made sense because he was looking crazy on the pads.
That didn't make sense to me personally. Roy Jones shouldn't have been in that ring either.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why they allowed the fight to happen. Not that I didn't want him to fight, but I understood like where the hype was coming from because Mike Tyson was, looked crazy on his training videos, and Roy Jones versus Mike Tyson to fight. Everyone always wanted to see. There was a story there. You know what I mean?
Bro, Roy Jones had arthritis on his knees. He couldn't run, bro.
Yeah.
And they
had no road running.
And they had this man fighting. I'm like, yo, listen, Triller are shameless. They need to get out of boxing, man. This
Holyfield one was just way worse to me, man. This guy looked like he had arthritis in the training videos. Like he just looked mad slow. I could probably fight him. I'm not even lying.
What's his name? Well, as David's saying that it's right. Holyfield has been slurred for years. Like, bro, every single punch that lands on that guy's head could be fatal at this point in time. I mean, you can't. The older you get, the more damaging a punch is to you. So we're basically watching someone potentially, for all you know, might take a punch and go left, completely left. And what do we say then? That was entertainment. Do you know what I mean? What was fun about that? What was cool about that? And even again with Roy Jones, I look at Roy Jones simply walking. He doesn't even walk normally. What's he doing in there with Mike Tyson, who looked like, okay, fair play, Mike Tyson did look like there's still something there. But all that meant was now you've got a lion and a gazelle in the ring. What is the entertainment here? Like, you can if you're twisted like that, you want to go and see some sort of like weird torture.
It's just a circus, man. It's a circus.
Go on YouTube. You don't need to see this shit.
And I wasn't too sure how I felt about there's the ongoing discussion, this whole YouTube and all this stuff. Is it hurting boxing or is it I think it's hurting it. I actually think it's hurting it. I think it's ruining its reputation, and I think maybe he's making some money here and there, but I genuinely don't feel it's not bringing new eyes to the sport or nothing like that. People just tune to see this nonsense. It's weird. Like how many new eyes have been added to the sport ever since this nonsense started going on?
So you know what? Yeah, insane. As much as I agree with that, on the flip side, any publicity with anything is good. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you're gonna get eyes that might have turned into this stupid circus, whatever, yeah, so forth. But for example, with like Jake Paul's show, as much as it was a circus, there was a couple proper fights in there, and that might make a casual looking thing. Oh, them actual boxers, that wasn't bad. I might go and
that Jake Paul card wasn't bad. To be fair, no, it wasn't bad at all.
So off the back of it, just knowing that someone else that might have never looked at the sport before has come in and thought, okay, that was a bunch of old men. I wonder what real boxers look like, and that might tune. So it's new ways of sports. So I guess like anything, let's put it this way: the people that are stuck in their mind and only want to do things one way, they die out. Whilst people who are willing to pivot, innovate, grow. So some way, somehow, it's probably not bad, even though the whole product.
I just want to see old men in the ring, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Because if one of them dies, God forbid, that's gonna be a big problem, man.
And boxing already has mad PR. Like that babe that died like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like you're out here doing this random mad shit. You have Dana White. Obviously, it's a competition thing, but him saying this is bullshit. We'll never let our sport get like this. Although they've got their own fucking gimmick acts, but that's another story. But whatever. It's like you have to uphold some form of integrity. There has to be a minimum standard of talent of a fighter. Like, I can't believe your network and you're allowing this on your network. Like, it's crazy to me. It's crazy. But listen, money talks and bullshit walks, which is why I know Triller are gonna die soon if they don't change up what they did.
Yeah, ridiculous.
The thing I'll say is like, the YouTube boxing doesn't really matter if boxing got his shit together. Just get the big fights done. No one really care like what YouTube boxing is doing to boxing, because the only reason we're talking about it now is because there's nothing to talk about in boxing. Like nothing's going on. No big fights are being made, like or big fights are being cancelled, stuff like that. Just get your shit together, get the fights together, and you'll see boxing will be back to where it was before. Like the only reason, like, oh, you have like MMA fans saying, oh, UFC is much bigger. It's just depend on the fact that they're getting their big fights and we're not. As soon as, and I say I like MMA as well, so I'm not trying to go on two different sides. But if boxing got its big fights together, I'm telling you, it smokes UFC events out of the water. Like this November, we have Canelo Plant. Yeah, on the same night, you're gonna have Usman versus Covington 2, and you're gonna have like these are big fights for UFC, and you're gonna have, like, it has a stacked undercard. We'll see on that night who does better, like who gets more, and who talks about more.
It's no brainer at all. Yeah, facts.
Yeah. We'll see who gets the more money. Not only money, but who also is talked about more. If AJ Fury is made, no one's gonna not even Khabib McGregor is gonna get talked about like that compared to what AJ Fury could do. Everyone wants AJ Fury. People wanted Khabib McGregor, but not on the level people want AJ Fury. So
let's be honest. Like in terms of commercial products, boxing and UFC is like Ronaldo going to Man United and Messi going to PSG. They're just on two different scales.
Right. Two different levels, yeah. I can't wait for that Joshua Usyk fight, man.
Yeah.
This is we're not meant to talk about this right now. But
don't ever use that example again.
I can't lie, I did it on purpose.
Ever use that example.
I was speaking while he didn't buy it.
Wait, I was away from my PC and I heard what? I was like, nah, don't ever use that example again. Messi gang, we out here.
Now all your enemies ate this weekend, Jiden, man. Allow it. Hold that. But
they were eight, man. But that's listen. We're talking about
we ate. Talking boxing, yeah. I can't wait for that AJ fight, man. Sam, do you still think AJ just flogged him? Or
I told you, hot knife in butter is running straight through him.
It's crazy. People actually think it's 50-50 now. You know, like, I feel like the closer we get, people are thinking, "Nah,
in butter straight through him."
Bro, fair enough.
The second AJ says, "Fuck this," and stops the yin yang boxing, yeah, he goes straight through him. Roadman AJ takes him all the way out.
You know what's funny? Yeah, I love the confidence sometimes, but listen, AJ is one of these fake deep guys. I don't want to say fake deep, but he likes to think and all that shit. He's gonna try and box. Yeah, he's gonna try and box Usyk. He will, and then maybe if he realizes that this is a bit long, that's when we'll be like, you know what, let me just stick it on him. So
literally, what's my point? The minute he stops the yin yang boxing and says, "Okay, I'm not winning this game," he goes through him like a hot knife in butter. When you get time, just put a proper hot knife in butter, and see how it melts it straight through. No problems. No give. There's no little bit of like struggle. It's just straight through him. Slices him half.
Yeah, I hope so, because I need a devastating win, because I want that infuriate. I need it to be juicy, man. For what they put us through this year, then both of them have to come through the next fights on a mad thing, so we can all be hyped for Undisputed. So I do hope, just the madness happens. You know what I mean? Like,
I can't lie to you. Like I said, I know AJ's fight. We need AJ to win that fight, and I think he does.
need him to win that fight. Yeah.
But the other fight, I
I
can't.
want him to win. I'm saying it. I said it.
Fury,
I want him to win. I said it.
huh?
I want him to win. I want him to win. I said it. As much as that hurts.
Fury, yeah, more and more.
pisses me
Looks
off
like
so much, man.
Fury, more and more looks like that. Yeah, personally, I don't think the fight even happens. I'm telling you, we're gonna get to fight week or just before fight week, and you're gonna hear a mental health. You're gonna hear I was staring at a tree and I was driving 130 miles an hour and I was thinking because he looks like he's not. Like, he doesn't seem
not all the way there, innit?
Yeah, and for someone that's apparently in camp, he looks fucking terrible. Did you see the other day on that weird press conference that it was just him and Frank Warren just going back and forth about how good they are. I was like, what the hell? This is the most weirdest scenario I've seen in ages. That they're just there chatting shit. Yeah, and Frank was basically picking up the fight as well. They was cussing Wilder, but Wilder's not even there. Like, what the fuck is this?
Them two just a joke, man.
It's a joke thing. I can't lie. The whole thing's a joke. But I've started to think Wilder's gonna slump him.
I want him to, man. I want him to, especially because a lot of people are in the opinion that if Wilder does beat Fury, he's more inclined to take the fight now that he's got a loss in his record. So there's no point of really trying to protect yourself from undisputed now. Do you know what I mean? You've lost already. So just try and make as much money as you can. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I just feel he's just so annoying, man. So he has this, you know, fight plan, and I don't know who he's trying to kid. When has Fury ever been known to take big fights like this back to back? He's telling you he wants to fight Wilder in October and then Dylan White in December. Come on, like who are you lying to? Who's trying to convince? It doesn't make any sense. He's never ever been that fighter. Never ever been that fighter. So I don't know who he's trying to what's the point of even saying this? Like,
you know what's funny? Yeah, a couple months ago, in the beginning of this year, if Fury said that, I don't think people would have really given that much dick. But I feel like everyone's just seeing for the bullshit now. Like, this guy is full of shit, and like now his word just doesn't stand for much. Before, if he said that, everyone would be gassed up and said, Fury will do that, and that Fury's gonna get in there with White and so forth. But we don't believe it's gonna happen. You've got cross promotional issues that anyway, and now you're automatically all of a sudden you're gonna be able to get a fight done with Dylan White, who's just calling you a cokehead on Twitter. Like, guys, man, all of you just shut up, man. I'm bored of all of you, okay? All of you just fight, okay?
It's interesting to see as well, because apart from the main, like, Fury fairies, like, a lot of his fans are like, nah, this guy's actually on some bullshit. And I don't think I've ever really seen that before, because there's still, like, people can still like find things to defend him with, you know, blah, 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 he beat Klitschko before. Like, there's still stuff to use to defend him, but this, now I'm seeing more and more like people just like, nah, this guy just.
It's because he's lost that goodwill, that little window he had. Remember, people that were fucking with Fury and Wilder heavy hated Eddie Hearn. They just hated about Hearn, hated AJ because of they hated Hearn, and they wanted to like finish Hearn. But it's got to a point where you can only ride that for so long, and Fury milked that. Like, he milked that completely to the point that he lied. Like, the British fans wanted the undisputed fight. If you were not trying to have it, say from early, but he didn't want the backlash that would have come with it. So you lied to everyone about the undisputed fight, made up a bullshit. Oh, we're fighting, and then next day you signed a fight.
Bro, he was making videos. Come on, my boy.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, he's done all of that. We've done all of that, and then now you think you can come and gaslight fans and say, nah,
bro,
why the fight didn't happen is because Hearn was too on it. What? That makes no sense. Wait, so you say these men don't want to fight you, then you say the fight didn't happen because
this guy has two promoters, you know, two,
bro,
not one, but two.
I just feel sorry for him, and I feel like his dad is also clocking that the people are turning on Fury, so he's trying to flip it on the promoters, but people ain't buying it. No one cares anymore. They're like, bro.
You know, I feel like no one cares who the blame actually sits with. It's just all of these are bullshit. All of these are full of shit.
Yeah.
I'm definitely more looking forward to AJ Usyk than Fury Wilder.
You know what? Yeah, it's funny because once fights get close, all of a sudden
Everyone's gonna watch it.
Nah, you know what? I'll normally agree with you, Samson, but because before they changed the COVID thing, and obviously Fury was set to fight before AJ, I wasn't excited either. Like I just didn't care. I was more interested in this Usyk Tottenham fiasco than because I just think Fury's probably just beats him again. But I don't know. I'm more intrigued in the undercard than the actual main event. I want to see FA Jagbar and that all heavyweight undercard that they got planned.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see that versus the actual main event. I couldn't care less about the main event, man.
No, I can't lie. I need to see who wins that fight. Like I'm
I need to see who wins, but like the fight itself as a package, they fought twice. Fury won twice.
I feel like it's actually more competitive than AJ Usyk, to be honest with you, in terms of actually. Yeah, I do.
In terms of chances of who's gonna win.
No, I feel like it's more of a toss-up in that fight than.
I don't know, man. We don't know we really don't know how Wilder's looking right now, man.
I'm saying I feel like as a fight, I'm not saying I think Wilder wins or Fury wins. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I'm that's what makes it interesting because of the fact that I don't have a strong. I think it's going this direction. I think that makes it more of a
Fury
matchup.
Fury beats the shit out of him. He beats the shit out of him.
He beats him again.
Fucks him up.
Have you saw him in that thing? He looks like shit, like actual shit, like dog shit.
Yeah, he always looks like shit.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. But Wilder looks like shit as well.
Yeah.
Nah, I wouldn't say that.
I think
because Wilder's in the water and throwing punches.
Okay, let me ask you guys this question: who's more likely to cause an upset, Wilder or Usyk?
Usyk, for me.
Yeah.
Wilder's more likely to cause an upset, of course.
No, I think Usyk, man.
Wilder's more likely to land a big right hand that stops Fury than.
Yeah, but that's not an upset.
He landed that shit in the last fight. It didn't happen. Nothing happened.
That is an upset.
It's an upset because we expect Wilder to win
Fury is an upset. Everyone expects Fury to beat Wilder, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So Wilder beating thing is an upset, but AJ beating AJ losing to actually it's I get it saying if Usyk beats AJ, that's a massive upset.
Yeah, it's an upset. Yeah.
However, I don't see that happening.
I think Usyk beating AJ is a bigger upset than Wilder beating.
Yeah, no, that is a big upset. I'm not disputing that, but I say which one's more likely. I think the more likely scenario is
Wilder beats Fury.
Yeah. I just don't see that while Usyk beats AJ, unless AJ just basically falls apart.
Yeah. No, AJ looks very on point to be honest right now. So we'll see how that goes, man.
Yeah, man. He's actually he's turned into a boxer. He's turning into a boxer, I should say.
I'm very intrigued to see how he performs that night because from what I'm seeing right now, it's looking quite crazy. I can't lie. Yeah, I'm intrigued to see how and Usyk as well. I really want to see how he performs because there's a lot of rumors going about his weight and this and that, and he's got Papachenko back in the camp and all that. I'm very intrigued to see how they both perform because
2 weeks to go.
Yeah, Usyk's last two performances, I'm very, very worried about his how he utilizes himself in this weight class. I don't think he'll look as good as people are thinking.
My reason why Usyk won't look as good is size, bro. At the cruiserweight limit, the height and reach discrepancy isn't as much, so it can do all those advanced high tech bullshit.
And Usyk is normally the taller fighter.
Yeah, exactly. So now he's fighting a guy who's taller, who's got longer reach, who's just as athletic as him. Yes, you're a better boxer than him, and you maybe have some some tricks that he might not have, but he's an elite boxer as well. So it's not like you're fighting Chisora 2.0. You're fighting a guy who can actually box with you. So he's going to need to do more to get inside of AJ. But again, you don't have the power to hurt AJ like a Ruiz or you know what I mean? So it's
hot knife in butter.
But I do believe the guy can figure AJ out. He's got the stamina to go 12. I do think he can do some stuff. I think it's going to be competitive personally, but I want AJ to stop him. I need a statement.
I need a flogging, man.
AJ stops him, just beats him up, and then says, "You bitch niggas that are and fucking Wilder, stop playing or fucking about and come get the smoke." That's what I need. AJ will never do it, unfortunately, but that is what I need.
You never know if the right adrenaline thing, it might just say, you know, fuck the media, fuck all this shit.
I would never do that,
man.
You hear him I spoke the other day. Good evening, gentlemen. Yes, it's been a long time I've seen something.
That fucking interview! Oh my god,
it was so jarring.
What is wrong with this guy?
This is why I don't watch. This is why I don't watch him and IFL. It's boring. Like,
I
I
can't stand him on IFL, man.
25 minutes.
Do you know what's so mad about IFL? I genuinely feel like Cougar likes Tyson more.
Because Tyson's more of a character.
So I don't know why AJ gives him this, like, he gives him some like special kind of respect. It's weird, man.
It's not. It's his media training and the trying to be polished and bringing back boxing to the British fans and all this kind of jarring talk, bro. You're swinging fists, bro. Like all this talk, we don't need it. It's all right. But anyway, it gets in commercial deals and so forth and gets them in the right places. So I get it. But
I mean, it's better than some of the shit Fury does and Wilder, so it is what it is.
If I was a fighter and I was an elite fighter, the streets would love me, man. I would make no money of commercials and I'd accept it, but the streets would love me. I would be so vulgar and rude.
Yeah, having the streets is way better, man.
Bro, I'm telling you now, I'm doing meek, bro. I'm moving the culture. Fuck all this.
Like,
I don't care about Sally. I don't care.
You need the streets behind you, man. AJ ain't got the streets like that, man.
I need my people to know that,
AJ has the streets off of loyalty, in it. Like, you just want to rock with him because he's black, he's British, Nigerian. Like, you know what I mean? He's got that. He's lucky. He has that.
If he was white and move like this, it would be so annoying, man.
Yeah. Well, people won't like him. Legit. I just feel like I need, because the thing is, we know he has it in him. We know. Like, I'll just talk some crazy.
It's who he is. All this is some next. Like, it's who he is.
The way Wilder, like, he was trying to lure boy Wilder in there, man. But when Wilder was out here talking crap, I'll be like, bro, Wilder, I'll come to your seat and I'll see you. What are you saying? What are you on? The same.
Live stream it as well. Live stream it.
You know what I mean? The energy White is on here. If AJ had the Dillian White chat, bro, it would not have lost that war of words. It would not have lost it because White's the type of guy. Remember when White's brother said he saw Wilder? They saw each other in Vegas and said Wilder wasn't on nothing.
Bro, there's a video of it, man.
That's what I want you to be.
You know what it is? You know it exists, yeah? Because remember, we used to look at is when AJ was meant to fight Druggy Man, yeah. What's his name? Bloody hell.
Druggy Man, yeah.
Drug Lord, man.
Gerald Miller.
Yeah, Miller, yeah. And he got pushed. Once he got pushed, and it was all of a sudden, I'm the landlord. Yeah, I'm paying your mum's rent. You know the talk is.
And he's good at it as well. That's the worst part. He's actually good at it.
I feel like he actually bites his tongue. Like he must hold himself.
Yeah. Hearn tells him, yo, AJ, man.
Rein in.
Do you remember when he was going to fight Brazil? And Brazil was like getting close to him and that, and he was like, bro, you're not about that life.
Yeah. This is
I'm not saying go all the way at like Dylan. Dylan's too much, in all fairness, yeah. But you can let a man know. You can let a man know, brother.
I'm not a dickhead.
I'm not the one.
And then he flogged Brazil. God.
No, but that's what you need, though, bro. You need that a little bit. Because the thing is, we know he has it in him because he's one of us, bro. Like he's all of this respect the game. Brother, leave it alone. I don't care if you watch it from a boxing historian. You watch boxing.
No, don't get me wrong, yeah. All that stuff is calm in it. I don't really care about that stuff. Just don't let people treat like a dickhead. That's what I'm saying.
That's me.
When people ask me, Fury said this, that's his opinion, bro. Fuck your opinion, fam. Fury, come see me.
That's it.
That's all. You don't have to say too much.
Simple. Just let them know that, brother. When you see, man, keep that same energy. That's all you need to hear.
One reason I feel like people are allowed to make these comparisons between him and Fury is because age doesn't say enough, man. Yeah. Because really, if he really was to just put the facts down, coming from the actual person himself, yeah, a lot of people be like, Raj, you know what, he's actually got a point. Like, I hold 3 belts, yeah. You've only got 1. Relax. Do you know what I mean? I went belt hunting.
When Fury was out here trying to make his lineal title a thing, I would have been like, bro, shut up, you cokehead, bro. You lost your belt. You lost the belts. No one cares about the lineal shit. And the fact is, if he really wants to say he's a boxing historian, he could have told them, yo, you lose your lineal belt in two ways. You either lose it three ways. Sorry, you lose it in the ring, you retire, or actually 2 ways. Sorry, you lose it in the ring or you retired. I'd have been like, my bro, you retired. You was out the ring for 2 years, so you've lost that. If you really claim you're the lineage,
get it back in blood.
Come on, get it back.
Eddie Hearn is saying more than fucking AJ. We got the same thing in common. No heavyweight defenses.
No, that made me laugh. I can't
that was a bar.
Eddie is an elite talker. That's the thing, yeah. Hearn, I won't lie. If you're a fighter and you don't talk a lot, you need an Eddie Hearn in it. Eddie Hearn will do a good job for you. But
in all fairness, though, to AJ, I'm happy he speaks less because now there's not much ability to grab the shit he says, because he says a lot of stuff that contradicts him and all that stuff. Hence a million of my agendas when they try to run him come from, because he fucks him. He trips himself up all the time. And he trips himself up because he's too busy trying to create this persona. If it was himself and just get to 100, I won't be to trip him up.
When he said,
if I'm gonna do that, then the less you say, the better.
When he told Sky Sports that he would go and help Fury in camp, I was so annoyed.
No, but that's him trolling though. It wasn't being serious. That was a troll.
Was it?
Yeah. No.
He was being dead ass, man. No, because he said in IFL, you know when you say stuff that you don't mean. He meant it. Man.
That shit was a troll. Because remember, he also said to what was that Fury went to Fury. I'll manage you as well. Bro, it was a troll, and Fury came out and said, "Nah, man, you're a dickhead, bro. Like, I want to cut you up." Fam, it was a troll. Them man don't like each other. Like, he's not gonna manage you. Fury's not gonna sign to 248 management or all that shit. It's a troll. He's trying to little boy him, innit? But it's that subtle little boy shit. Don't do that.
All of that dead that and just say, bro, if you want sparring, like, I gotta smoke you for your
straight. I'm like, I'll punch up in a sparring.
I'll punch up nicely. Any condition nicely, absorb all the punches. I'll flog you for him. Don't worry. Okay, prepared for him.
Anyways,
yeah, man. Yeah, this Fury stuff, he needs to allow it. He's gonna fight Chisora probably after Wilder and then retire. He needs to allow it. And one more thing I want to touch on as well. Wembley, if both of them do get through their next fights, is Wembley still an option for their first fight? So why does he say Saudi?
Money. That's it. Money, bro.
Okay, it's money. So they need to stop coming for AJ then. They come for Fury. Saudi,
we know that.
AJ on the Saudi thing.
Bro, we know Fury chat shit. We know when Fury's out here saying he gave 7 million away. There's a man that gives 7 million away out here catting for Saudi money, bro. The guy wants peace. Everyone wants peace. This is prize fighting.
It's okay to say you want the peace. Don't pretend like some people's champion, man.
You know what I mean? That I'll fight you for free, man.
Peace, man.
I don't care about them, man. I just fight because I love fighting. I come from a boxing family.
Oh, I love it, man.
You don't like that? All that bullshit, bro. He wants the Saudi peace, innit?
See, when Wilder knocked him down and he came back up, all that fighting for all that bullshit left his body from that knockdown. He said, "Nah, if I'm gonna get knocked around like this again in my life, I need to be making meals." Facts. That's okay.
I don't blame him. This is what these men do, innit?
Bro, life and death, man. I don't blame him.
Yeah, I'm tired of the Dillian White situation as well. So if Fury beats Wilder, just fight White in like 2 months or whatever. Just fight him straight away.
Never do that.
That's not gonna happen.
I know you won't. But me personally, I'd rather that, and then AJ can get rid of the WBA defense, because I think that's the one that's coming up next, right?
What, Joy Joyce?
Not Joy Joyce. Hergovich.
Oh, that's a fight.
Isn't it WBA or is it IBF?
Yeah, I think Hergovich is WBA. That's the black one, isn't it?
IBF. One of them is coming up soon, anyways. But I'd rather get out of the way early, so there's nothing stopping that fight or the 2-fight series next year.
Do you see AJ fighting again later in the year? I don't.
But
this year.
Yeah,
no, I think he fights next year.
I'm saying I do. I'm not denying you. I'm not denying it. I'm just saying this is what I would do in it.
Oh yeah, got you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's the one thing I like about White though. Like as soon as Fury mentioned his name, he was onto him straight away.
Bro, onto him. He don't waste business.
Onto him. You're not gonna win this war of words with me, boy. I ain't able. Onto him straight. Start calling Coke boy and that. That's so funny, but Fury flows White though. I can't lie.
Yeah.
Fam, I think that's a competitive fighting though. I'm probably going to be the only one that says that, but I feel like because White's got long arms, innit? And people need to like the Fury that was dancing around and fighting Wilder the first fight.
Fury's gone, innit?
That Fury's gone forever and ever. The Fury that fought White in the second fight is more of the Fury we're gonna go see. The guy's 33 years old. He's always yo-yoing in weight. It takes so much energy and effort to get back to a weight that allows you to be so fluid. So he's gonna be a guy. He's gonna hunker down and he's gonna try to beat you up. And I feel like that plays to, obviously he's bigger than White, so it would work with White, but that plays towards White's strengths because White likes to sit down on his punches and throw crazy
swings,
in it. And the way he throws punches, Fury is susceptible to those sort of punches. Again, I'm not here to say he beats Fury, but it's more competitive than people make out to be, in my opinion.
It's a tough fight. It is a tough fight. It is. And that's why Fury's not going to take it this early. As in, like, after Wilder, he's saying, Wilder in October, then Fury in December, and then White in December. Not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. But anyway, we'll see.
That's it for this week, really. We've touched on... There wasn't much to touch on, but we've touched on what we could. Make sure you all follow us on Twitter and interact with us at Ringside Fracas on Twitter. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Music or iTunes, give us a 5-star review, please. And yeah, I think we've covered most of what we wanted to cover this week. Yeah, I think that's it for this episode. We'll catch you guys on the other side.
Bye, guys. Peace out.
Peace.
See you.
My computer's frozen.
I just stopped recording. So yeah, when we all get into this, oh man, look how quick
my computer's frozen in it. I'm trying to
I'll lock it off.
Bro, one sec.
Man moves houses and now his computer doesn't work.
Bro, it's moving mad, fam.
Where you at now? Oh shit, no way.
What's going on?
I was gonna get him done at pot smoke.
Why did he laugh like that?
Why is this
Hey,
computer?
this is still live. Just dance a little bit.
Can anyone else end the broadcast or just me?
I think it's just still.
Just me. Let me try and see.
Bro. Anyway, I'm not waiting for this guy's computer to fix, bro. When are we all gonna start going to the studio?
Yeah, that's a good question, to be honest with you. I think it's just down to when Leroy said, when Lewis says, I guess it'll just be another Sunday, innit? But I'm down whenever we can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, it's still getting lively though. Hey, I think we'll have to leave, fam. This is
If we all leave, does it just kill the thing? I don't know how they record it.
Imagine it's still going.
It has to, because the guy
For real, it's definitely still going.
Wait, a 10-hour live broadcast.
Next week's going to have to be a good episode.
Yeah, next week has to be a big one. That's the preview.
I think we should definitely be like putting out some sort of like stuff prior to let people know, so it's like a anticipation thing.
Yeah. Especially
for like a pre-AJ heavy pod as well.
When's the Fury fight's October 9th, isn't it?
Yeah.
What are we gonna do for that?
We can do something for that as well. We should definitely get the live. We used to do the live watch alongs or whatever. We should get that going back again. Obviously the AJ. Yeah.
Because I'm going to the AJ thing in it, so